The great Sun Tzu once said, if you want to become the best at Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, you must have an excellent disadvantage. That's why I'm here to give you 5 of the best pieces of advice to improve your disadvantage. These tips will be applicable all the way from an absolute beginner of the game to a seasoned professional. And make sure to stay until the end, as I left a bonus tip that has recently leveled up my game a lot. Number 1, abuse platforms when you're in disadvantage. This is something I see top players abuse literally all the time. As you can see here, Spargo jumps and covers himself with an aerial to avoid getting ledge trapped. And he does it again here, and he also does it here. You get the point. Jumping to platforms is an option that many players often overlook when they're in the corner. Jumping to platforms can be really tough for some characters to deal with, especially if they don't have strong aerials that kill off the top. Most characters could charge an up smash below the platform, but as soon as you see them position themselves under the platform, it's the perfect opportunity for you to mix up your approach and not land on the platform. You can also use platforms to mix up your landing options as well while you're getting juggled. Landing on platforms gives you the option to shield much quicker, and using directional air dodges to land on a platform can throw your opponent off when they're trying to juggle you. Once you're on the platform, you also have a lot of options to mix up between, so you won't easily get punished. You can run off the platform, you can run off and do a back air, you can drop through the platform and do an aerial, you could jump off the platform, or you could even jump then drop through the platform. This can also be abused more if you have an up B that puts you in free fall. You can mix between landing on the platform or going above the platform then landing onto the ground. Remember, Smash Ultimate is a platform fighter. Abusing platforms to the best of your ability is crucial to finding success. Number 2, don't be afraid to be in the corner. Now, I know that might sound really counterintuitive at first. The whole goal of Smash is to get stage control, rack up damage, and send your opponent off stage, right? I would agree with you, but a key part of getting stage control is understanding when you can actually get out of the corner in the first place. Whenever you get off ledge, you should never be afraid to just sit in the corner and take your time. A problem I see with most players is that they try to instantly get out of the corner as soon as they get off ledge. This leads to many players just standing around roll distance and waiting for you to run directly into them. A lot of good players will cover where they think you want to go, but if you show them you're content with staying in the corner, you'll entice them to try to run up and hit you. For example, as soon as you see your opponent run towards you, you could roll past them, or if they try to hit you with an aerial, you could anti-air them or punish it out of shield. The possibilities are really endless, but you can only get to that point if you force your opponent to hit where you are in the first place. This can also be further expanded upon by just doing aerials in the corner. If your opponent is playing very reactive, nothing is stopping you from covering yourself with an aerial, making it harder for them to actually land a hit on you. Of course, you can get punished for it, but if you have the space to set up for aerials, don't be afraid to control the space that you have. Number 3, don't box yourself in. This piece of advice I've learned from none other than Mewtwo-King, which was shown very clearly in this DK Bill video. Many players, when they're in the corner, have a very bad habit of boxing themselves in. They either want to run directly at you or jump towards you. What Mewtwo-King does instead is jump backwards. Now, I know this might sound crazy because you're putting yourself closer to the blast zone, right? But jumping backwards a lot of the time is very challenging for your opponent to properly capitalize off of. Most players are either looking to hit directly in front of you or directly where you are. That means jumping backwards is going to be safe 9 out of 10 times. You can jump backwards, land back on stage with an aerial, or you could jump backwards and re-grab ledge. This also gives you time to stall, which can be really strong against characters that have timer-based mechanics where wasting time makes their power up go away. Number 4, get your finger off the trigger. Now, you might be confused by what I exactly mean by that. This tip is actually a bit of a 2-for-1 special. The first definition by getting your finger off the trigger means not holding the shield button all the time. This is one I'm very guilty of. As soon as I get sent off stage, my finger will literally be hovering over the shield button. This ends up leading to a lot of scenarios where I'll do a jank air dodge and die early. Here's the thing about having your finger on the trigger. You only have your finger on the shield button if you are afraid. Being scared is one of the most dangerous things you can do, as it leads to panic options and, like I said, getting these weird type of air dodges. This can also be extended to being in the corner. If your panic option always ends up being shield, you're going to get punished for that. Of course, there are scenarios where you would prefer taking a grab from a character like Cloud instead of getting back aired, but if you let your shield habits get too obvious, you will get punished for it. Now, for the second definition, you can take your finger off the trigger when you're on ledge. I noticed that players will usually pick their their ledge option as soon as they grab ledge, right before their invincibility runs out, or right after their invincibility runs out. But what's stopping you from staying on ledge long after your invincibility goes away? Sure, it might be scary, but if your opponent hasn't shown they're willing to punish waiting on ledge, then make them show that they're going to have to. Of course, there are some situations and characters that I recommend saving this as a rare mix-up. For example, against Incineroar, if he's standing right by neutral get-up distance and you're at high percent, I wouldn't recommend doing this as he could easily go for a down tilt and kill you off of it. But if you're fighting a character like Roy and you see them mashing a bunch of aerials at ledge, just wait and see what they're going to do. You could end up finding an easy opening, or worst case scenario, you get hit by Roy down tilt and you recover again. Number 5, wasting time off stage. On November 9th, 2024, I was scrolling Twitter and came across this tweet by Shattuck. Is there anybody on earth who has advice on how to get off the ledge as a normal character? Then in the replies, I see Charlie the King respond with a 2-minute video with some of the most real Smash advice I have ever heard. The point in the video that stuck out to me the most is taking time when you recover off stage. CDK explained that there's no hurry to recover to the stage. A lot of the time, it's best to just chill. This is because the longer you spend off stage, the more ledge invincibility you get. Taking your time to recover gives you time to breathe on ledge. Ways you can take time recovering off stage are by not fast falling, recovering lower than you typically would, or using character specific stalling options. A bit off topic, but you can use this inversely in advantage state too. If you send your opponent off stage with a move that does little knockback, it will give them little to no invincibility, letting you hit them for holding ledge a lot earlier than normal. Bonus tip: if you stuck around this long, first of all, I want to say thank you, and if you found this video to be helpful, I would appreciate if you liked, commented, and subscribed so the algorithm pushes this video out for more people to see. My final piece of advice is to mix up your recoveries for no reason. Now I know this might sound stupid, but I mean it. Sure, it sounds really simple, just mix up your recoveries. But in reality, there's a lot more to this than just picking a bunch of different options. You can jump directly to ledge, you can jump shark with an aerial, then recover low, you can save your jump and recover as low as you can without a jump, you could directionally air dodge to ledge, you can go under the stage if your character has the tools for it, you can jump towards ledge and make it look like you're gonna grab ledge and recover low with up B. The possibilities are really endless. The reason this helps is because the more mix-ups you do, the less confident your opponent will be when going for an edge guard. Most players won't start trying to edge guard you at the start of the match. They'll try to get a feel for how you recover, then they'll try to edge guard you based on your habits. The way to beat this is by playing without any habits to begin with. Use as many crazy recoveries as you can just because. Now I'm not saying recover stupidly, don't just throw your stock away, but don't be afraid to get a bit creative with it. Thank you for watching until the end, everyone. If you have any questions, please let me know down in the comments. Also, if you think there was something I should have added, comment it down below and I'll add it to the first pinned comment.